It's about to go down. Nigeria politicians has already set Nigeria on fire. 2027 will be a long year. It's either Nigerians stand up to take back their life from these Nigerian politicians, or they will continue to make everybody titi láéláé ni. I saw one video of Mama P. Níbi tó ti ń pariwo wípé Nigeria politicians fẹ́ pa wá o. Wọ́n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe èpè fún Akpabio and co. Ó wá ní fídíò yẹn òun ò ní ṣó ẹ o. Ó ní everybody lọ wá fún ara ẹ ni. Ó ṣe wá le tó bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Tí mo mọ̀ pé yẹn olólùfẹ́ mi. Expect nǹkan tó ń lọ lágbàáyé kí sáré gbé wá fún yín. Mo lọ wá fídíò náà mo mú wá fún yín. But kí n tó play fún yẹn kí sáré já yín sí. Ṣé ti gbọ́ wípé nínú electoral act now fún 2027 election, ṣé ti gbọ́ wípé àwọn Nigerian politicians they can print their own ballot paper. Ó shocking mi náà. That is, wọ́n lè print ballot paper. Bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ dìbò àti wọlé, bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ dìbò ayágbọ́n ògúngbègbọ́n ayántìrò ògúngbè ń bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n ti pé àwọn Nigerians ti sọ pé a ní dìbò fún yín, a ní dìbò, a máa take our life back to our future to our hand ni, we will decide by ourselves. Now bóyá àbádòfin ni kí n pè ní àbí òfin, because wọ́n náà ti sign ẹ o. INEC commissioner ló bọ́ta ló fi gbé ta wípé òfin tí wọ́n sign can bring war, as in ó lè dá ogun sílẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà. I don't even know. Nigerian politicians, they are not even scared. Ẹ̀rù ò bà wọ́n fún ogun o. Bóyá wọ́n pé àwọn ti kó gbogbo Nàìjíríà sí abẹ́ armpit wọn ni, or wọ́n ti kó gbogbo Nàìjíríà sínú agolo kan tí wọ́n ti gbá wọn pa síbẹ̀. I don't even know. As me ń ṣe politician, but sometimes tí n bá wo àwọn wà tí wọ́n máa ń wù, ẹ̀rù dẹ̀ máa bà mí fún wọn. Some people, ṣé wọn believe pé Nigerians can rise up one day to confront them? Ẹ kọ́kọ́ wá gbọ́ lẹ́nu Mama P, ṣùgbọ́n ó ní ká lọ wá fídíò yẹn. Mo ti wá fídíò yẹn jáde fún yín. Ẹ máa wá gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu INEC commissioner. Even kò táyè fẹ́ láti lọ kóòtù o. Wọ́n ní judiciary should be the last hope of the poor people for where they play. Kò sáyè. Don't bother to bring them to court ni. Yorùbá wuyì orúkọ mi. Èyí ni 24th of April 2026. Ọjọ́ kẹrìnlélógún oṣù kẹrin ọdún 2026. Ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé àbí kẹ́ fìdílé nǹkan. Ó ṣọ́ọ̀kì mi o. Tẹ́ bá ṣe ń wo show yẹn bá wa like. Ẹ má gbé láti subscribe sí YouTube channel Yorùbá Wuyì àti Rikirindo Yorùbá Wuyì. Opinion yín ẹ fi sí comment section. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi máa fi.
Good morning, trenches.
Good morning.
How is everybody doing? Let me share this video. It's going to be a quick one. I just want to say that God in heaven will punish Akpabio. Yes, God in heaven will punish every single lawmaker that signed this electoral act into law. Your children will cry the cry where we say with the cry on top of beds every night. Yes, I'm sorry for you as one of the citizens that you are bent on frustrating. People of God, if you have not watched this video, I don't have much to say. You need to go and watch the video. This guy, Mike Guinea, is one of the good guys. Now, former INEC correct guy. Now, they make laws where we say supposed to make elections they better. The same laws where this new assembly and their cohorts don't spoil. So the guy is coming out now to open the eyes of Nigerians to even the parts where we not see for the electoral law. We there here they shout transmission real-time electronic results. My people of God is worse. Oh, is worse. I say God Himself will destroy these vagabonds. I don't see how you will sign an act into law that you know is capable of causing war in your own country. I've seen vagabonds, but I've not seen this pattern. These vagabonds, this particular one, they are from the pit of hell. I'm not gonna say much. You need to go and use your hand to look for the video because I don't know why it's not trending. It's not trending enough. It should be on every Nigerian's phone. So use your hand, go find her. May you watch her. Go type Mike Guinea interview for Google. Sit down, watch her, because 2027 will be a long year. The man Nigerians, they break down everything where they do. I'm just gonna tell you one. Do you know now that the new electoral act, when we the shots they come since, do you know that it creates provision for politicians to print their own ballot paper and bring to the polling unit, and the INEC person there, if it's okay, it go accept them? Kai! You don't understand. The black side, am I speaking correct English? Do you know that politicians can now bring their own ballot paper? They say ballot paper when no get security features of INEC, that INEC can actually accept it on polling units. Fight, I said a fight, go save this country. Do you know it's in the electoral acts? These guys are vagabonds. So as we even shout our vote must count, electronic transmission of results, these idiots have created an act that protects impunity. The fuck? And people signed it. People actually signed it. Now God will punish all of you. Nigerians, you better get ready for the worst. I'm not going to say much. Go and look for the mass interview. You need to. I don't know why it's not trending. And that's why I don't rate anybody. Be you content creator. You are not talking about Nigeria. I don't rank. I never rate you. If you decide to sit on the fence, you are seeing all this and you say it's not my business. Don't, hey! Everybody come outside. It's about to get hotter than you even thought.
It's about to get down. Now, here is the video.
Today, one of these areas I found very shocking. You know, when I said I have not been interested in so many things because I'm so disappointed. But I decided that, look, let me go through the Electoral Act. And I found that whereas the last intervention we had here, we're discussing about Section 60, subsection 3, where they provided a proviso that will undermine the 2027 official elections. I have now found a more dangerous 3 provisions, and I put them out so that I think that Nigerians can read it, they can see it before any comment. First, let's go to Section 63. Now, Section 63, which I just discovered, they have now reintroduced something very terrible. You can see it there. That ballot paper that will be used for the 2027 election, that does not bear the official manifesto security features of INEC, should be accepted by presiding officer. You can read it there. That where the returning officer satisfied, the word satisfied, that was contained in Section 49 of the 2010 Act that took us 20 years until 2022 to repeat, to remove, because what is the objective condition to determine what satisfies a presiding officer? The presiding officer has now been given the discretion to now accept ballot paper, notwithstanding the absence of the official mark, and to count that ballot paper. What that means is that before this election, politicians who now have access to the the security features of INEC ballot, they are going to produce their ballot papers.
They're going to print their own.
They are going to print their own ballot paper that have to be accepted. This is dangerous, as you put in the Electoral Act. Similarly, may I show Section 138? No, 138. Let's go to Section 138. Section 138 has been one of the rigging provisions that we have cried out to be removed. As a matter of fact, you remember that in 2019, in this current republic, under Buhari was the only time that there was no Electoral Act passed. Because when we made that recommendation that this thing should be removed, this section should be removed, you remember that it was rejected. And what the section says? Grant of final petition. It says that an act or omission which may be contrary to the instruction or directive of the commission or of an officer appointed for the purpose of election, but which is not contrary to the provision of this act, shall not of itself be a ground for questioning the election. May I make a few observations here? You see, when you want to deceive people, you put it in words. Bring that section back again. You see, what they basically said, they were just short of referring to INEC regulations and guidelines, because the instruction and directive of INEC are contained in INEC regulation and guidelines. They are saying that a presiding officer, an assistant presiding officer, a collation officer, a returning officer, they can abandon it. So they provided immunity there without immunity. Let's go to the last section. It will interest Nigerians to know that Section 137 now says that all those categories of individuals, I think the other time I provided you what we call a pyramid. All the categories that we have just mentioned, presiding officer, returning officers, he says that where the petition, that's anybody go to petition now, to go to file a petition, complains of the conduct of an electoral officer, a presiding officer, returning officer, it shall not be necessary to join such officer. That is those who have disobeyed to follow INEC instruction and guidelines, that it shall not be necessary to bring them to the commission. That was why, you remember in 2019, in 2023 and previous elections, you'll find that because INEC has been joined, you are saying that the people who rig election, presiding officer who actually were the maker of the document, you said because you have invited, you have joined INEC as a respondent, it shall not be necessary to bring them to the tribunal. Meanwhile, the courts have always complained about what we call dumping of documents, that petitioners should come and call for oral evidence. To deal with that, under Section 137, in the 2022 Act, a new law was put in there to the effect that if document, because you remember that in the 2023 election, there were results, about 18,000 in different parts of the different, where they had different numbers of result sheets that were mutilated. You could not read them, but votes were attributed to them. But they were certified by our commission. They were taken to court. You remember that when a director of our commission, who unfairly was brought to speak to a document he did not make, he was not able to read them. Yet the court will now propose under the 2022 Act that have now been removed, to the effect that once there's a complaint about non-compliance to the due process, to the extent that the document is before the court, certified as INEC document, it shall not be necessary to call oral evidence because of the fact that most of the presiding officer will not be around. Dr. Abati, as we speak, this provision that I have outlined, particularly, it means that at the level of the balloting, it has been sabotaged to the extent that ballot papers, you cannot going to have ballot box stuffing, people are going to produce their ballot paper. Remember, in 2019, in 2 states, one in the southeast, one in the south-south, some unscrupulous members of our commission gave the serial number, gave the security features of ballot papers to politicians. And when INEC, in the case of Imo State, went to the court to say that this document, result sheet, is not our document, but guess what? The court, tribunal, upheld a forged document. This is where the role of the judiciary comes in. And this is where I am worried. When Dr. Abayu said, I have been, see, my clarion call since 2010 when I came to the commission has always been on the basis of my experience as a young man who had my first school in Ondo State, when Fagbengbe was killed because of the outcome of the election. And that's why I've always called on my constituents to say that our legal profession is not just to make a living. We have a special role to play in the life of a society. That is why if Hussaini and Dr. Abadi, you have a problem, you come to us as lawyers. When you have a problem between yourself and government, you come to us as a lawyer. And that the lawyer, the judiciary, must be the last line of defense of democracy and the rule of law. But that has not happened historically and unfortunately.
It's about to go down. Imagine this. Bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ dìbò, ẹ ti wọlé. Either you dìbò or you no dìbò. Àwọn people ti wọlé already. Tó ti dey print ballot, tí ó ti dey print ballot paper láti ilé wọn. Ẹjọ́, tí wọ́n ti máa tẹ̀ka sórí ẹ̀ kó tó gbé wá, àbí wọn ò ní tẹ̀ka sórí ẹ̀. Wọ́n táwọn Nigeria politicians gbé mi ò mọ̀ o. I am not a politician, but when I see them, I am scared for them. Not scared of them. Or do I say I am scared of them? I am scared because wọ́n bẹ̀rù jù àbí wọ́n burú jù àṣetánì lọ. Tí àṣetánì gan bá rí Nigeria politicians ó yẹ kó máa sá lọ ni. What? So bí Nigerians kọ̀ tó láwọn ò jáde àwọn ò dìbò. Nigeria politicians want to believe on èmi ló kàn ni. Èmi ló kàn. Rotational ni oníkálukú mọ̀ gbà tó máa kàn. Gbà tó máa kàn wọ́n mọ́ wọn náà wọ́n ti mọ̀ kalẹ̀. This is where we are. This is where we found ourselves. Nigeria politicians, only God knows how to judge. Only God knows how He will judge you guys. You are heartless. Ẹ burú o. Ẹ burú. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn tẹ́ bá ń wo show yìí, ẹ bá wa fi opinion yín sí comment section. 2027 will be a long year. 2027 yẹn ó máa lẹ́tí Ọlọ́run fún gbogbo wa ní ẹ̀mí àtàlàfíà. Ká fi witness 2027 and more of it. Òfin tẹ́ mọ̀ pé ó lè dá ogun sílẹ̀. Ẹ ṣàfẹ́ dá ogun sílẹ̀ because I believe gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà wọ́n wà nínú abẹ́ armpit yín. Or ẹ ti kó wọn sínú agolo kan ẹ ti dé wọn pa. Nobody dare challenge you. When this come out, how will you feel, Nigeria politicians? Won't you be ashamed? And again, turning judiciary should be the last hope of the poor people. And we're not at the courts. I even tell you, they don't bother to bring them to court because they don't comply with the INEC rules and regulation or whatever do they call it. Mo rí yín mo bẹ́rí. Yorùbáwùyí lórúkọ mi. Yorùbáwùyí ni mo ń jẹ́. If you are coming across my page for the first time, I am the one and only Akalolu of Yoruba land. Adáwọ̀nlẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ọmọ tó jẹ́ ọmọ lọ yóò léyìí tí ò pé méjì. Abẹ́ni ọmọ tí ò ṣe parọ́ tó máa parọ́ tiwa. Adéwájú federal government. Tó máa sáìn ní ọmọ Adéwájú Elédùmarè. Ẹjọ́ tó rí Ọlọ́run ẹ bá mi dá ló tap send. Ẹ lo promo code Abiola TTS or Abiola 223. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ tó bá fẹ́ send owó sí Nàìjíríà. Ẹ gba bonus yín. We are fast, we are reliable. Ọwọ́ kan tó bá ti send báyìí ló máa lò. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́tí lò kùdú sí fún yín o. Thank you guys. Ẹ má jòyè aládàáni kan jẹ. Ẹ bá mi pè sínú contact ẹni kan má gbàgbé lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ kọ́ lè bá gba bonus wọn yín cashback ni. Kò sí kọ́dà kẹ́ send $1 bí £1 ní àkọ́kọ́. Ẹni ìlú tẹ́ bá wà kẹ́ kọ́kọ́ send ẹyọ kan ẹ̀. Ẹ má gba kí lórúkọ ẹ̀ bonus yín. Ẹ ṣé gan. Ṣé ti like show ẹ̀? Ṣé ti share ẹ̀? Ẹ ti for